What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. Welcome. It is Wednesday. It is March 13th. It is 12 noon here in Sacramento, California. What is going on? I am back in the building, and let's see here. I need to pop my chat out and get that situated. All right, there we go. And then I need to grab my show notes for today, which are developing as we speak. Yeah, you know, I had grand plans for today's show. I wanted to really have like a detailed breakdown of some of the stuff that is going on, and I just got caught up in a lot of other non-show related things and got screwed. So ran out of time. But you know what? We'll just kind of do what we can. We'll do what we can to the best of our ability, and we'll have to see how things shake themselves out. But yeah, this is episode 123. It is Wednesday. It is March 13th, and it is high noon here in California at this current point in time. All right, so what is the first story of the day? Let me go ahead and grab that for you guys. Well, first of all, before we get into the first story of the day, I would like to say that today's episode is sponsored by Patreon supporter James Pruden. Thank you so much, James Pruden, for your support for this show, VR365. There is no super chat. We do not have monetization on YouTube. It is a problem, to be sure. In fact, it might actually be endangering the long-term viability of this show. And it's not, it might be endangering, it is. It seriously is endangering the long-time viability of this show. But you know what? We do have Patreon. We also have PayPal. I almost forgot what it was. Yeah, PayPal. So if you go into the show notes, there is a link to Patreon. There is also a link to PayPal, and you can donate a couple of bucks. You can donate $1. You can donate $1 million if you want to. You know, go right ahead. No, there's nothing stopping you. But yeah, much love to James Pruden. And I gotta say that there are a number of Patreon supporters that I have not thanked yet in this kind of a way. And I was doing it like I was doing it. I've done about 8 or 9 of these, and my plan was to do this like every couple of days. I didn't want to do it every single day because then it kind of gets played out. But I did want to do this like every couple of days, and it's been like a week or two almost since I've done the last Patreon support. So I need to do a better job of this. That is on me. The other thing that I need to do is I need to look at the PayPal donations and start thanking those people as well. And do that as well. So it's on me. I need to do a better job of that, but I did want to say thanks so much to James Pruden, a Patreon supporter, one of our Patreon supporters that is still around there. So that is cool. All right, what are we going to get into now? Well, why don't we just go into the lead story of the day? I was hoping to have a better breakout for this, but not exactly. But let's go ahead and bounce over here. Let's see. Let's go to our Webby browser. Okay, so here's our Webby browser right here. And one of the major stories of the day is on Wired. Okay, so let's bounce over here to Wired. Now, I will apologize straight up because there's going to be advertisements and things that are going to be popping up all over the damn place. And I don't have an ad block on my browser here. And so apologies for, you know, the shenanigans that will happen. Okay, but they have a major story over here at Wired. It seems to me like someone at Oculus really likes Wired, okay? In fact, honestly, let me rephrase that. Somebody at Oculus really likes Peter Rubin, okay? Peter Rubin is a guy that works for Wired, and he covers technology. I used to listen to a Wired podcast. There used to be a really good Wired podcast. Damn it, now I can't think of the name of the guy. God, what was that guy's name that did the Wired podcast? One of the better podcasters out there. And every once in a while, he would have Peter Rubin on his podcast. And this was back in the days when I was into flat gaming. Kev Gretz says, why aren't you using ad block? Maybe because I have a website that has advertisements on it. Really, it's just Amazon links. But if I'm using an ad block, What does that say? I have a website, and I'm going to use ad block myself, which like keeps these websites alive, but I'm going to cut off my nose to spite my face. That is why I don't use an ad block. But anyway, Peter Rubin was a guest. So back in the days, I used to listen to a lot of podcasts when I was into flat gaming and when I worked in the cubicle world, which I could be returning to very, very soon. I would listen to podcasts all day. It's how I got through the day. It's amazing. It's awesome. If you guys have to work, if anybody out there has to work in an office every day, and it's basically you're putting in your 8-hour shift and you're doing stuff on a computer and you're doing this and you're doing that. But if you have the ability to listen to something on your headphones and you can listen to podcasts, man, can it make the day fly like you wouldn't believe. Like, I really believe an 8-hour workday can really seem like a 5-hour workday when you're in a cubicle and you're listening to podcasts. It really does feel like a 5-hour workday. And I used to listen to all these podcasts, and there was a very good podcast that was a Wired podcast. It was a Chris Kohler. Okay, I forget the name of the podcast, but I know it was Chris Kohler. He's a famous like Nintendo guy, but he also does other stuff as well. And he was kind of interested in VR, and he would have Peter Rubin on. And I remember this was way back in the days when Palmer Luckey was still in the mix, you know. And so they would have conversations about what's going on with Oculus and what he's seen about Oculus. So it doesn't surprise me in the least that Peter Rubin would be the guy that's writing this story. Okay, so this is research assistant Autumn Trimble, and she's sitting inside Mugsy, which is one of the capture facilities in Pittsburgh's Facebook Reality Labs. Okay, and this is designed to create what they're calling codec avatars. Now, first of all, I want to say, who would have bet dollars to donuts? Who would have bet dollars to donuts that Facebook Reality Labs would have a lab in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? I sure as hell wouldn't. I would have never guessed in a million years that Facebook Reality Labs would have an office there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But how crazy is that? They do have one. And where they have this, they have a capture facility, and it is called Mugsy. And they surround you with about 20 billion cameras, and they take pictures of you from every possible angle. And that is how they are creating these incredible next generation avatars. And they have a little video here where they kind of break it down. I actually grabbed this video off of YouTube. Somebody copied that video somehow. Unfortunately, there's no sound. But let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Let's switch back over to our standard scene. We're going to come back to this story. And let me throw on that video here. I'm pretty sure there's no sound. I don't think there was sound, but let's double check. But it will kind of give us an idea of what they're doing with these next level avatars. Yeah, I'm not hearing any sound at all. Okay, so there's no sound. Okay, so this video right here, on the left side is a real person. On the right side is the avatar of the real person. And then they're showing you these other people. See, what they do is when they get you into Mugsy, they require that you make all these weird facial contortions. And they want you to make these strange facial contortions. I do have audio. There is audio.
And then I do boxing too.
What kind of yoga? Wait, okay, yoga and boxing.
Yeah, there's a nice contrast
there. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of yoga do you do?
I do hot yoga. I love hot yoga. I knew it.
Oh my gosh. I've tried it a few times. Hot yoga, I just want to, oh my gosh, I sweat so much. I melt in there.
I love it.
But like the session ends and like I just need like a gallon of water. I just walk right out of the room.
Right? Of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
I haven't been that much recently because I've been really busy recently, but like usually I'll try to go,
I'm going to mute this because it's not that interesting. But looking at the faces, looking at the voices, it's a little bit off. Like, it's a little bit off. You can tell that it's a little bit off, but these are next generation avatars, to be sure. I mean, this is pretty freaking impressive. Now, there's a lot of problems with this, though. We're not seeing this anytime soon. I'm sorry, you're not going to see that lady's tongue coming out at you in 3D anytime soon. And the reason for this is multifaceted. Okay, let's go back to the Webby browser. Oh my God. Becky, would you look at her bum? Oh my God. Okay, so here we are. We're back here. And one of the problems that we're going to have with this, ladies and gentlebots, is we don't all live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we don't all have a Mugsy that we can go to that's going to take a photo of us from every possible angle. So that's one of the problems that we have here. Another problem is that basically they're taking this information, all right? They're taking the facial expressions and they're feeding it to an AI intelligence that is beyond sentient. No, they're feeding it to an AI intelligence that collaborates with neural networks along the blockchain. And a whole lot of blockchain gang. Yeah, baby, blockchain gang. Okay, yeah, so I had to sing, I had to do it. So the first takes place in a dome-like enclosure called Mugsy, the walls and ceilings of which are studded with 132 off-the-shelf Canon lenses and 350 lights focused towards a chair. Sitting at the center feels like being in a black hole made of paparazzi. Okay, and they awkwardly named it Mug Shooter and then realized it was a horrible, unfriendly name. And so here's an example where they have people making the most awkward and irritating expressions, because what they do is they feed that information into the neural network, and then it takes over and we all become slaves. And so that's what's going on here. Also, apparently, like, Microsoft has their mixed reality capture studio, but Facebook did it one better, brah. They've got 180 cameras to 106. They also went with higher resolution cameras, 2.5K by 4K versus lousy ass 2K by 2K. Get the F out of Dodge. They're using a higher capture frame rate, 90 hertz instead of 30 or 60 like Microsoft. So Facebook is bout it. They are trying to make this thing happen. The point is to capture as much information as humanly possible. Mugsy and the sociopathic something gather 180 gigabytes of data every second, and they feed that to the neural network, which is getting bigger and scarier by the minute. And so that's where we're getting these codec avatars. And this is long term, like, this is coming. It's a scary future and it is absolutely headed our way, but it is a lot farther than we'd like to believe it to be. Like we look at this stuff and we think, oh, this is cool. We're going to be doing this in like 2 years. You know, we're going to be like going to Facebook Spaces and you're going to see real looking people and they're going to talk to you and have conversations. Nah, dude, this is like 5, 6, 7 years away. So we need to chill a little bit. But I've talked about this future a number of times. I was trying to see if there was any other little key information in here that I wanted to get into really quick. They talk about like deep fakes, you know, all the troubling things. Like here's a little quote from this article, courtesy of Peter Rubin. Give that boy some love. Okay, that's a marvelous thing to experience. Troubling too. While codec avatars are still little more than a research project, we're learning about them at an uncertain time. Deep fakes. AI so powerful it can create faces from nothing. Data privacy, misinformation campaigns, and toxic behavior. Toxic behavior. Gotta love that toxic behavior, don't you? I'll show you guys some toxic behavior. I'm gonna get mad at something, and that's some toxic behavior right there. Okay, but yeah, so deep fakes, yada, yada, yada. Now, one of the things I did want to say, though, about this is, don't you guys remember, well, some of you guys might remember, and let's switch back over to our standard scene. We can have that kind of playing in the background here. And one of the things that I talked about back in the days is I talked about this idea of full body capture. Okay, full body capture. I think this is something that has got to happen. I know you guys, you want your FOV. You want your higher resolution. You want a lighter, you want your headset to be more lightweight. You want eye tracking. You want foveated rendering. You want smell-o-vision. You know, you want haptic feedback. You want all this stuff. Do you know what I want? I want to see my body and every inch of it in VR, and I want it to have pinpoint accuracy. And I've talked about this before, and I had an idea for this. My idea was, and it works better for Microsoft because they have these things called Microsoft stores, or it would work better for Apple because there's the Apple store, you know what I mean? And so my idea is that at Microsoft stores or Apple stores or something like this, they are going to have a contraption that is going to be there. Now, the contraption might cost about $20,000 for this contraption, right? But they're going to have the contraption at the Microsoft store or the Apple store, and you're going to go to this contraption. You're going to pay like a $50 fee or whatever, right? You're going to pay a $50 fee, and you're going to walk inside this booth, and you're going to stand inside this booth, and then a thing is going to go and it's going to spin you into the Matrix. But no, really what's going to happen is you're going to stand inside a booth and all these cameras and shit are going to go all around you. And they're going to flash you from every possible angle. And it's going to scan the living shit out of your ass. And they're going to encourage you to wear a tank top. They're going to say, wear a tank top because we want to see all your tats. We want to have all your tats scanned in. Maybe actually, in fact, they're going to say, you know, when you come to this machine, put on your Speedo, okay? Put on your Speedo or your bikini so that they can, you know, analyze you. You know, they analyze you perfectly and they get every little bump and every little scar, you know, every little bump in your hand, every little imperfection, every missing patch of arm hair or whatever weird shit you got going on, right? They would analyze all that. Your neck tats, you know, Chris Brown gets up in there. It's going to analyze all of his neck tats. So it's going to analyze all this stuff, and you're going to have an avatar that is going to be professional grade level avatar, very similar to what we're seeing here. But it's also going to put your body into the VR game, not just your head. I mean, all this is cool, but I want the frickin' body up in the game, man, because I don't really care about talking to my long lost cousin from freaking Saskatchewan, from Quebec, from Montreal, Quebec. Okay, my long lost cousin, talking to him in a Facebook Spaces thing, like that's cool and all, but really, I want to be in Skyrim, but I want to see my freaking arm in Skyrim. I want to see my body in Skyrim, and I think they're going to have these centers that you go to, and you're going to pay a fee. It's going to scan your ass in, and then once they have your digital information, they can upload that into the system, and for every single game you're in, they're going to have a digital breakdown of you, and I think that's the way this thing is going to work for high quality avatars and also full body scanning. And then we are going to need some external sensor device that is going to track every little pivot of our arms and everything, a skeletal tracking system that's going to track every little bit of us and accurately use our real body avatars to throw that in there as well. But this is good news. It's good news. Hey, we are on the road to this marvelous future. We can't get there fast enough. This stuff is still about 7 or 8 years away. All right, now, one of the other things that we need to talk about, though, in relationship to this entire story here, is what headset is on their heads right there. Okay, it kind of looks like an Oculus Quest, but it's not an Oculus Quest. You can see a wire coming out of the back of that dude's head. And this is not the Oculus Quest. So some people around the intranet are talking about this, and they are saying, oh my God, the Rift S has been confirmed. So let's go to our full screen 1080p images. Bam. Okay, here it is. This is it. Is that the Rift S, ladies and gentlemen? Probably not. Probably not. That is not the Rift S. calm the F down. It is not the Rift S. I'm going to tell you why it's not the Rift S. Those cameras are not in a proper position. I don't even know if those are cameras that are on the front of... They almost look like screws. They almost look like some type of screws or nails or bolts or something. They are not in the right position. I believe that this is some kind of prototype that they have at Facebook Reality Labs. This is not the Rift S. It is not the Rift S in my opinion, but there are people around the intronets that do believe that that is the Rift S. What say you, folks? But yeah, this is Facebook Reality Labs. This is their next gen avatars. It is in the news. Okay, what else is in the news? Well, why don't we go over here? Now, I could have... Oh, man, this is screwed up. Hold on. My Zoom, I don't know why the Zoom is out of control on some of these things and then other things it's not. And now I just screwed up. Okay, so this was tweeted out not too long ago by Oculus Rift. GDC 19 is just 1 week away. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Now, what does this mean, guys? Does this mean the Rift S is coming to a theater near you? Because what do we not want to miss? Is it just the Oculus Quest? Who cares? Who cares about the Oculus Quest? That's tired. That's old. A new Stormland trailer? Big deal. Asgard's Wrath, some new gameplay footage? Big deal. They're saying you won't want to miss this. That means Rift S, baby. It is incoming. Nah, I don't know. I'm just playing around here. I mean, they're going to want to hype this up regardless. This doesn't mean anything in any real shape, way, or form. Because obviously, they're going to have some new Oculus Rift games there. They're probably going to finally have a release date for Defector. I mean, let's get real, folks. We thought Defector was going to release like last November, last December. Here we are. It's March 13th. We still don't have a release date for Defector. So we're probably going to get a release date for Defector. We might get a release date for Asgard's Wrath. We're probably going to get a brand new trailer for Defector. Maybe a new trailer for Asgard's Wrath. Probably a big breakout of Stormland, like a new gameplay demo of Stormland. We might get lucky. We might get a Respawn teaser trailer. We might find out the name of the Respawn game, and we might get a little bit of stuff going on over there. We might get, Vader Immortal. We'll probably get some actual Vader Immortal gameplay. We'll probably also get some announcements of Oculus Quest games that we never knew about. A couple of big ones that we never knew about. Some, we might get an official recognition of stuff like Rec Room and Beat Saber coming to the Oculus Quest. Maybe a couple of other surprises like the Unspoken coming to the Oculus Quest. Other games being confirmed. This does not necessarily mean that we're going to get the Rift S. But I guarantee you, some people are going to look at this and be like, oh my God, you won't want to miss it. It has to be Rift S, right? It absolutely has to be Rift S. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait on that and figure that out. But that is Oculus tweeting about that. And it is exciting. We're less than a week away. Dude, a week from today, do you guys realize this? A week from today, I'm probably going to be standing in line. Like right now, at this very moment in time, in 1 week, I am going to be standing in line. Ben Lang's going to be in front of me, and David Jagano is going to be behind me. I'm going to be standing in line waiting to play the newest build of Stormland, and I'm probably going to be waiting in a 5-hour line. That's going to happen a week from today. How exciting is that? How exciting is it that I'm going to be waiting in line? That's going to be awesome. Okay, now, what else do we cover in relationship to Oculus? And we cover it every single day. And that, of course, is the daily deal. So we might as well bounce over there and find out what it is. And here it is, folks. Here it is, folks. It is Nature Treks VR. Nature Treks VR. No objectives, no worries. Yeah, this is not a game for MAME fan, okay? MAME fan likes objectives. MAME fan likes to go from point A to point B. Now, actually, I'm just assuming this, but you know how there's different gamers? Like, I'm the gamer where I just walk around and I'm like, oh, look at that butterfly. And the butterfly's flapping its wings and it just landed on this flower. Let me go over to the flower and look at the flower. Oh, there's a cockroach on the ground. How cute is that? Oh, look at that little mouse running over there. That looks awesome. And then there's these other gamers that are like, okay, where am I supposed to go? Let's go to the next spot. Okay, I got to battle the boss. Let's battle the boss. Let's battle the boss. This obviously is not for those people. This is more for people like me that want to chill out, no objectives, no worries, brah. Explore tropical beaches, underwater oceans, and even take to the stars. Discover over 60 different animals, some of them endangered, some of them not. Command the weather, take control of the night, or shape your own world. Nature Treks VR. It is on discount. It is $6.99. That is 30% off its normal price. Normally goes for 10 buckaroonies, and there is a little bit over 11 hours in this deal. Now, one thing I'll say about Nature Treks VR, this game, I believe, yeah, a main fan actually owns this game. He played it once and thought it was meh. He thought it was meh. Okay, but what I was going to say is Nature Treks VR, this is, I think, one of the games that has been confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. I think. It's either confirmed or it's on the rumor list, but I think it's confirmed for the Oculus Quest. So Nature Treks VR is going to be coming to the Oculus Quest. The other thing I'll say about it is long term, and I'm talking like 10 years from now, this type of application is going to be a killer app for VR. This is going to be a straight up killer app for VR, because the idea of just walking in a beautiful meadow with a couple of deer running around, you know, that might seem boring as hell to the vast majority of you guys. But to your grandmas out there, that is straight catnip, okay? You walk in a meadow and you see a freaking deer about 200 yards away, that is catnip for your grandma. And that's why Nature Treks VR is going to be a huge thing in the future. One of the things I talked about is I like the rain in VR. I like being in like a forest and it's raining, and I kind of imagine myself drinking a nice cup of coffee, you know, enjoying a nice cup of coffee, and it's raining and you just got that vibe and everything, right? And I don't think we're just not there in VR. The technology isn't there. The resolution isn't there. The FOV isn't there. The quality of the textures isn't there. The photorealism isn't there. The 3D audio isn't there. We've got about 10 years to go on this thing. But in about 10 years, do you know how incredible it's going to be to walk into that open meadow, or to kick back on that beautiful beach in Tahiti, or to go into a rainforest, or to see a blizzard in Antarctica unfold all around you? It is going to be next level compelling. And that is what's going to scoop up all the non-gamers out there that have absolutely zero interest in VR. You couldn't pay them to put a headset on their head right about now. But in 10 years, it's all going to change. And it's going to be applications like this. It's going to be awesome. Okay, speaking of interesting applications that might attract people that currently have no interest whatsoever in VR, how about a city driving simulator? Yeah, how about a city driving simulator? Well, I got a brand new trailer for this, and this is something a few people have talked about this every now and then, is why don't we have a simulator that can teach my teenager how to drive in VR, and it actually has like the real rules, like the actual rules of driving, like how to make a proper stop, you know, the different traffic rules, and when to turn left, when to let the other guy go in front of you and all that. People have asked about that. Like, why don't we have that in VR? It seems like an absolute natural. Of course, we're about 10 years away from no one ever driving a car and it being all automatic, but we've still got 10 years to go. So let's deal with reality right now. Well, there is a company that is dealing with this. I found a trailer for a new experience. It is called City Driving Simulator VR. Let's check that out. All right, I'm going to pump the volume on these next generation Oculus avatars, and we're going to check out City Driving Simulator VR.
melt in
Yeah.
there.
So let's switch over
love
here.
it.
Yeah! Oh my God! It's so
I just need,
cool.
like a gallon of water.
A gallon of water, man.
And yeah.
Absolutely.
How often do you
Yeah.
go?
Okay, here we go. All right, well, that is City Car Driving, or yeah, City Car Driving City Edition or something like that. Developer is Forward. And I think this is a cool idea. You know, I can make a lot of jokes like, oh my God, it's got potholes. It's got pedestrians running in the middle of the street. You know, it's got all these real world problems that real drivers are gonna have to deal with in reality. Oh my God, somebody's gonna cut in front of you. It's gonna teach you how to avoid road rage. You know, it's gonna teach you how to do all these different things, but it is cool. It's got different times of day. It's got weather conditions. It's got driving rules in freaking Russia. I mean, driving rules all over Europe. It's got USA driving rules, all these different kinds of things for you to deal with. I think this is a good idea. These are the kinds of things that grandmas are interested in for their grandchildren, okay? These are the killer apps. You've got ice conditions, sudden dangerous situations. This could be a killer app. Look at those guys running in front of the street. They need to have one with like a little ball that bounces in front of the street and then a little kid runs out to grab it. Dogs and cats, you know, all these kinds of things. Has anybody ever had a friend? Has anybody ever had a friend where every time a cat would run out in the middle of the street, the friend would try to run the cat over? I actually had a friend that did that. He pissed me off, man. But look, it's got potholes. It's got all kinds of stuff. Next generation technology. Trams in traffic. Police cars. Oh my God. That is incredible. And you can go to a parking lot. How awesome is that? You can drive an Audi as well, although it doesn't look quite exactly like an Audi. Okay, so that is City Driving Simulator VR. That is something I noticed today in searches for trailers. Okay, well, guess what, guys? That's pretty much what I got for you today. This was an incredible episode, right? One of the best ever? Not exactly. Okay, now what I can do is I can go ahead and we can check some of the websites. We can see what's going on. So let's switch back over to Webby browser time and let's go to Upload VR, everybody's favorite. Let's give it a nice quick refresh. Okay, 0 latency to feature Dark Slopes, Scary Girl, Mission Maybe VR experience. Okay, that is interesting. Every major Oculus Rift exclusive game. over the past 3 years. Have you been dying to know what are the real exclusives? Well, Upload VR has broken it down for you. Of course, if you click on this, you're probably going to have to click 20 more times to find out the entire list of every exclusive that is out there. Let's see, VR mod is Gary's mod in VR, because why the hell not? And here's True VR reveals 10-player full-body VR arcade app to call. Okay, well, full body, baby. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, Skyworld, did it get a date for PlayStation VR? Let's click on this. Let's click on this story. I always love dates. Like, I like when things are official. Okay, so it is official on March 26. So Skyworld is going to go head-to-head with Space Junkies. Although I don't know, is Space Junkies going to be available on PlayStation VR on March 26? I know the PC VR version is coming out on March 26. We also have Area of Darkness Sentinel that is also coming on March 26. And now we have Skyworld also coming on March 26. And it looks like they got maybe a new trailer, or that might have been the original trailer there. So we've got a date for Skyworld PlayStation VR. That's cool. Last Labyrinth. You know, we've seen this trailer a number of times. It kind of has a little anime. It basically has a little anime girl that's kind of walking around. And it's pretty much an escape the room game. It's basically your standard escape the room game with the addition of an anime girl. And that basically changes the entire game. I mean, it really does. And it makes it tremendously more appealing to a very specific segment of the human population. Okay, so let's see. The campaign isn't to fund development itself, rather aid with marketing of the game. So they got some, their Kickstarter thing is going to finish on March 25th. But basically what they're saying here is they're now targeting summer 2019 for Last Labyrinth. Find that anime girl if it's the last thing that you do. Okay, and then, yeah, we heard about, you know, the Microsoft thing. Okay, let's go to Road to VR and let's see if there's any stuff popping off over here. And so Road to VR, they're showing you the research being done at Facebook Reality Studios towards their super realistic avatars. Skyworld, yeah, it's coming on March 26. Audica update addresses early feedback. What feedback? There's no problems with Audica. Audica is possibly the best VR game currently available. Now, you know what, guys? Actually, in Audica news, I finally fixed my setup last night. I've got these big tower speakers that are over here. I don't know if you can, you might be able to see one of them, but I got these big Energy C8 tower speakers. I also have that subwoofer over there, and it pumps, baby. Let me tell you, this little room gets really thumpalistic when I pump that volume up. But my problem is when I was playing Audica, I was facing this wall here. And I was like doing all my Audica stuff, having a whole bunch of fun, man. Yeah, bam, 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 playing Audica, doing all that good stuff, right? But my speakers are over there, brah. It doesn't work very well. Well, I finally figured out how to change my setup, and I changed it, and I got it front facing. And so I'm facing my loudspeakers, I'm facing the subwoofer, and I crank that volume. I must be pissing off my neighbors like you would not believe. I really, really, really like Audica. Okay, let's see what they did do to the update. Responding to player feedback, aligning with some of our own, Harmonix released version 0.11 update just one day after Audica launched in early access. Melee hit detection is now more generous, and the game now recenters you upon the start of a song to give you the best melee position. Added a choose difficulty label. A setting has been added, audio filtering on miss. This is so the song volume is no longer reduced when missing a target. But no, that's the game. Like, that is the freaking game. Like, if the volume is not reduced, then what incentive do you have to like do a song perfectly? Your incentive is you want to hear the entire song, and you want to have the bass thumping, and you want to have everything working for the entire song. And when you miss that crucial shot, you're like, damn, I just effed this song up, because now the volume is going to go way low. But like, if I turn that off, you're cheating at that point. Like, what incentive do you have to do better? Reduced particle density to improve target readability, different stuff. So anyway, I didn't have any problem with it. I liked it. I love it. I love Audica. I like it even better than Beat Saber. I think this is a game changer, man. I think Beat Saber is a gateway drug. And this is like, okay, so you get your hit, you get a taste of rhythm action games in VR with Beat Saber, and then this is where you get the heroin, brah. This is where the heroin comes in, the heron. This is the heron, Audica. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Okay, we did talk about Oculus and the brutal dismemberment in Asgard's Wrath. We talked about that yesterday, and they're talking about how to spend that $15 credit. It's over, brah. It is March 13th. Your $15 credits have expired into the mist. Okay, let's bounce over to the Oculus Rift subreddit, because there does seem to be a lot of hype that's going on over here on the Oculus Rift subreddit. And it's all about that GDC love. Let's go ahead and refresh this and see what is going on. Okay, yeah. GDC 2019 is just 1 week away. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss the Rift S. Not exactly, but that's, I think, what we're implying from this. Let's check out some of the comments and see what general folks are thinking about in regards to this. Well, Gator Raider says, honestly, don't get your hopes up too much. I don't think Oculus wants the Rift S reveal to overshadow the impending launch of Quest. See, I told you, I knew everybody was going to instantly go to Rift S. I knew it. And that was the number one thing. Yeah, people are thinking Rift S. I am hoping Rift S would still have this. I'm hoping Rift S would have that. I'm hoping Rift S will be like this. Everybody is hyped on Rift S. But you know what? This problem, like Rift S overshadowing the launch of the Quest, it's a problem they're going to have to deal with regardless. So confront the problem now. Just let the Rift S out of the box. Let it go. Move on with our lives. You know what I'm saying? Move on. MoveOn.com. Okay, servers are down. Can't make an account. I'm unable to log in. See, I'm seeing is there some unexpected error has occurred? A lot of people are talking about problems. Problems in Oculus Rift land, guys. Are we having major problems? Like, can you get into your Rift account? Can you play Audica today? Because there will be a major problem if I can't get into Audica later today. I'll tell you right now. Okay, let's bounce over to our chat and see what some people are talking about here. A few people are talking about Audica. And okay, let's see. Yeah, Argambo, Audica. Paradise Decay says, and I once hit an animal late at night. It was pitch black. I was in the middle of nowhere. I just heard a crunch and a thud. Oh man, got home 20 minutes later and the rabbit's head was still in the grill. Oh my God, that is harsh. That is super harsh. That is not what you want to have happen on your road home. Yeah, see, I had a good buddy of mine literally would try to run over cats. Like, he would deliberately try to run over cats. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, thou shall not kill. Like, thou shall not kill. Okay, Chris says, I found Audica super boring. No flow at all. Well, you don't have a flow, but people that do, no, I don't know. Audica's not boring, but you know what I will say about Audica? Audica is not going to hold your hand. And Audica is not going to be that friendly to you. And until you, and I'm not good. I still suck. Like, you could watch my Let's Play. I am horrible at Audica. I'm missing all kinds of chains, all kinds of super simple type stuff in Audica. I'm not good. I'm good enough to see the brilliance, though. And this is a game, I guarantee you, Audica is a game, the more you play it, the better it gets. It's kind of like In Death in that way. Okay, Prince Alexander is talking to Paradise. He's saying, dude, don't tell us those stories. It's going to give us nightmares. Yeah, a rabbit's head in the grill? Like, what kind of worse nightmare is that? And it's just the head. It wasn't even the rest of the body. Chris says, I found it impossible to get into a flow state when I played it. Well, you know what you got to do, Chris? This is what I realized. And so when I was doing my Let's Play for Audica, what you guys don't realize is I played that song Gold Dust. Like, I played it like 15 times in a row. and I cut out like 10 of them. And I used my very first play of Gold Dust, and then I cut out like 10 of them, and I used like the last 3, and that's my Let's Play. And one of the things that I came to realize as I was playing Gold Dust, and I love that song, man. It's just such an uppity, it's like Hey Ya. It's like Hey Ya from, what are those guys? Outkast. It kind of reminds me of Hey Ya from Outkast or something like that. It's just a happy, upbeat, cheerful song. Like, I encourage you, listen to Gold Dust and try to be in a horrible mood. It is very difficult, and that's why I like that song so much. But what I came to realize is you get a lot better at Audica when you start dancing. You got to start dancing. You just got to start dancing, because then you'll notice, you start dancing to the beat, and what you'll notice is the things start popping up right to the beat. And so if you got your dance going, and if you're in rhythm with the song, it gets so much easier, but you got to let yourself go. You can't be like, damn it, I can't get this. It's not working right. You got to let yourself go, man. Let yourself go, brah. You really have to do that to get good at Audica. Okay, let's see. Chris says, Beat Saber does not lower the volume. It does not matter. No, Beat Saber, when you start missing notes, though, Beat Saber does something. I don't know that it lowers the volume, but it kind of, something goes weird with Beat Saber when you start missing notes, because otherwise you got to have some kind of feedback that you're not doing the greatest, right? Jason Westma says, I wish they had options you can turn on and off in Audica to fit your style of play. Well, they're going to continue to bang away at it. So they could, you know, I don't know if they have like a Discord server or what, but you could probably tell them what you're interested in, and they'll probably look into that. Oh, Paradise is saying that was over 25 years ago, and I still get nightmares. Damn. He just absolutely murdered a rabbit in cold blood 25 years ago. So this points to karma, guys. Remember what I talk about karma? You can get away with murder, but you don't get away with murder. There's people out there. There's people that are walking around on planet Earth that have killed somebody, but they don't get away with it. Why? Because nightmares last 25 years later. Take it from Paradise. He brutally murdered an innocent bunny rabbit, and it's still haunting him 25 years later. Steve Lee says, Chris, you properly have no rhythm. Phil Yarn says, Yo, Anthony, when are you leaving for GDC, bruh? I'm leaving extremely early on Tuesday morning. See, I'm only going to be in GDC for 2 days. I'm going to be there all day Tuesday. I'm leaving hella early in the morning, like maybe like 4 a.m. in the morning or something. I'm going to drive all the way to San Fran and get there hella early, and I'm going to be at GDC all day long. I'm staying in a hotel for 1 night, and then I'm going to be there all the next day, probably until like 9 p.m. that next night, and then I'm going to drive back to SAC. So yeah, I'm leaving on Tuesday, really early Tuesday morning. Fluke Rogi checking in. Surely getting a perfect run or a high score is the incentive. Yeah, for Audica, it absolutely is. How old are you, and do you earn money as a muso? I don't know who that is being directed to. Hussein X says, oh yes, Wrench is released on Oculus Store. Just checked. Yes, it is. It is out. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't out all along, because they did have a demo for Wrench. I thought that was a little bit abnormal that Wrench would be on Steam, but there was no demo for Wrench on Steam, but there was a demo for Wrench on Oculus. Kind of weird. If people like Audica, that's great. More games for everybody. There's Chris again. If you miss notes on Beat Saber, you hear a sword swish sound. Yeah, you hear something. Something goes wrong. And Greg's VR says murder has to be premeditated. Yeah, it does. Okay, psychopaths don't feel bad. That's Mame Fan. Well, we don't know what they feel unless you really know what they feel, because it takes one to know one, Mame Fan. Are you telling us that you're a psychopath? Okay, so anyway, he didn't murder it. He just borrowed its head. That's Bullet Ape. Okay, so let's get back into the stories here. We are on the Oculus subreddit, and I was just trying to see if there was any other thing that exciting was going on here. Servers down. Yeah, Wrench is on the Oculus Store. Adam Orth Risk is the price of admission for developing VR, and risk is the price of admission for hiring Adam Orth. Because is this guy likely to leave your company or what? This guy plays musical chairs more than just about anybody I know. It's so interesting how he's become this like famous individual. And do you guys remember how Adam Orth became famous? Like, do you guys remember? Adam Orth is the guy that said, hashtag deal with it. And I still love him for that. I still love the guy for that. Hashtag deal with it. It cost him a job at Oculus, but not at Oculus. It cost him a job at Microsoft. But god damn it, has it made him famous. He is certified famous. Adam Orth is a famous individual. Okay, an unexpected error has occurred. Yeah, we've got lots of problems. Network errors, new users. We got a lot of problems. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, so that's going on the Oculus subreddit. One thing I can check real quick is let's take a look at PlayStation VR subreddit. Let's give this a nice quick refresh and see what is going on over here. Beat Saber Monster Cat Music Pack. It is already up if you're in the land of Oz. It is out there and available. I can click on this and we can see what it looks like. Yeah, so I kind of thought it was going to cost 20 bucks, and yes, it did. Monster Cat Music Pack Volume 1 is 20 bucks. It comes out on March 14th. Of course, if you live in the land of Oz, it is March 14th right about now. You are living in the future, and it is 20 bones. So that is the music pack for Beat Saber in effect. Okay, what else are we looking at here? Oh, here's good news for Jay Pace. Good news for Jay Pace. And Jay Pace is in chat, and he says, Anth, have you beat Shadow Legends yet? No, you know why I haven't beat Shadow Legends, Jay Pace? It's a little game called Audica. Because every time I think about jumping into VR and playing a VR game, I think about playing Audica, and I think about Gold Dust. It is freaking capture me, bro. But no, I do need to go back into Shadow Legends. I want to put Shadow Legends to bed, but what happened was I lost my save game somehow because I think it was doing like an update or something. And I think when it did its update, like there was an update for Shadow Legends, and I think it killed my saved game. And so I had to start over. And I'm working my way back through Shadow Legends. I only played it one time. I did get quite far. I'll be back right to where I was, and then I'm going to put Shadow Legends to bed. I will absolutely... In fact, I'll make this guarantee. I will finish Shadow Legends before I leave for GDC. Absolutely guaranteed. Okay, so this was the story I wanted to talk about for Jay Pace, because Jay Pace is willing. He is straight up willing to have somebody put wires right into the back of his necks, right in the back of his neck, Matrix style. But he might not have to do that because Control Labs, Thomas Reardon, on how his company's non-invasive neural interface is a game changer for VR developers. I'm not even going to click on that because that story is 20 years away from happening. Like, I can't even buy that that's going to happen in less than 20 years. Any kind of neural network of any kind, I just don't see it. I am stuck in the mud. Yeah, you know me. I don't like to have an open mind and think about things. Just trying to see if there's any... Oh, Cave Digger. Cave Digger just came out, bruh. We've been waiting a while for Cave Digger. So Cave Digger, yeah, this was supposed to come out, I think, on March 1st for PlayStation VR. And it finally released March 13th. Cave Digger in the building. You got to pay £8, though. This is free on Steam VR. It's like a free-to-play thing. So it's not free-to-play here on PlayStation VR. That's disappointing. Other news, folks. Other news. Immortal Legacy hath been delayed. Yeah, this was originally coming on March 20th. It has now been delayed till April 17th. Immortal Legacy Jade Cypher, a.k.a. Kill X, in case you're wondering what was going on here. The game is complete, but the release date was changed by the publisher for strategic reasons. Ah, interesting. Very strategic of them. Very, very strategic of them. Okay, so let's go back to PlayStation VR. So I think we've pretty much covered... Oh, Scion is still working on an abduction patch for PlayStation VR. Have you guys heard about this? Abduction on PlayStation VR is absolute garbage. Okay, I haven't played it myself personally, but I've heard it from so many people that I believe it to be true. I do believe that Abduction on PlayStation VR is absolute garbage because so many people, like this guy says, currently, however, the visuals are nauseating. He would love to play it on PSVR, but currently the visuals are nauseating. And so Science Support is saying Abduction Update is still being worked on. So at least the good news is they are aware of the problems. They are working on it, and that is good news. Hopefully they can fix that because, yeah, I heard it's just absolute utter garbage over there. Let's check out the Vive subreddit real quick here. We have a little bit of talk about the upcoming game Nostos here. This is like some video. I don't want to click on the video. I should have clicked on the comments here. Let's click on the comments. And yeah, one of my most anticipated titles for the Quest. Nostos is kind of rumored for the Quest. Or actually, no, I think it's actually been confirmed for the Quest, right? I think it was actually confirmed for the Quest. I thought there was a little story I had for that, but I'm not seeing it, so never mind. Yeah, not much else is going on. I can go ahead and see what people are talking about over here in chat. Back over to chat here. Let's see what some folks are saying. Jay Pace says, I think I'm 90% done with Shadow Legends. I beat the big boss. And Main Fan says, I look forward to hearing what Anthony says about the Shadow Legend final boss. Yeah, I need to freaking beat that final boss. Jay Pace says, I am willing to try a Neuralink as long as I don't have to drill into the back of my skull. Well, you know, that story is perfect for you because supposedly they don't have to drill into the back of your skull. And let's see, DLG27 says he saw a YouTube vid where a guy wearing a wristband was able to play Asteroids just using his thoughts. It is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming. That is scary. Although, wouldn't you like to have the ability, like, could you imagine if you could just walk into a room and think lights and then bam, the lights are on? Or like you're washing dishes, right? Like you're washing dishes and you think in your head, water turn off. And the water just turn, like you don't even have to say it. You just think in your head, water turn off. And then the water turns off and you're saving some of the water as you're washing the dishes. We should have neural capabilities for everything. I think it would be awesome. But video games seems like it would be weird. Like imagine if you're playing a game. Imagine just sitting on a couch like this. You're just sitting on a couch and you're like, okay, jump right now. Okay, run really fast. Okay, swing your sword. You're just thinking it in your head and your guy is doing all that stuff. That would be really weird. Transference is only 10 bones. Is that everywhere? Let's check that out. Transference is only 10 bones. Let's go to Google Live. Transference Steam. Let's see if Transference is only $10 on Steam. Nope, $25 on Steam. So where is it 10 bones? PlayStation VR maybe? Let's go back here. PSVR. Or is it on like a website, like somebody has a deal like Gamersgate or Humble Bundle or somebody? Transference PSVR. I'm trying to see if it is $10 somewhere by download. Ubisoft. Oh, if you buy it directly from Ubisoft, it's 10 bones? Okay, because Transference over here is £20 UK. But yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I guess if you go to Ubisoft, I love Transference. This is one of the few games that I have finished. Oh my God, I occasionally finish a game. But I really, really like this game. One of my favorite games of the entire year of 2018. Like this is definitely in my top 10 best VR games of 2018. I loved most everything about this game because you know what? That house, like I feel like I've been there. I feel like I've spent good solid time in this house. Like I've experienced this house. I feel like I know this house. And that weird thing coming at you was pretty trippy. And then like seeing the, you know, guy work digitally and then he fades away. Like there was some good production value here. I really hope SpectreVision and Ubisoft, I hope they're able to make their money back on this because I know it must have been crazy expensive. And like you'll get a developer like SpectreVision that thinks VR is going to take over the world. And it will, but they might be about 10 years early. You know, and so they think VR is going to take over the world right now. and it didn't quite happen. And you worry because you think a developer like this, they may have spent like $17-18 million making it. Look, I know that sounds batshit insane. How could they have possibly spent $17-18 million making it? But when you get people like Elijah Woods and everybody in the same room, they think money like that is nothing, and they think they're going to make crazy money off of it, and it's going to be this like revolutionary thing, and then they end up like owing money forever, and it doesn't pay for itself. You know, I have no idea how much this game costs, but I'd like to see it be a successful product, because I'd like to see whatever Spectre Vision does next. I hope they do another VR game. Really liked it. All right, well, that is pretty much going to do it, I guess, for today's episode. So why don't we go ahead and bounce back over here to our normal scene here. Let's bounce back over here. So KevGret says, Ant, I posted on the PSVR subreddit to tune into this show, and someone responded by saying, if you don't mind the host taking 30 minutes to say something anyone else can say in one. Okay, oh, and a 45-plus-year-old guy trying to act cool by saying things like bounce, jelly, and Webby browser, and his tinfoil hat predictions. That's awesome, though. That's awesome that somebody spent enough time with this show to know that, you know, to know that I'm trying to be cool, brah. I'm trying to be so cool, brah. I always thought Webby browser was really dumb and silly, but I just stuck with it. 45-plus-year-old guy. Yeah. That's funny, but that's cool that there's some people out there. KevGret says, it would be an awesome show if you just stuck to the actual news, brah, instead of going off the rails on some crazy arse rumors and theories that are off the wall. But that's what makes this show so incredible, is what I would like to think. Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it at all. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because, you know what? Here's the thing. I could try... See, the bottom line with all of this stuff, guys, is like I could try to do everything absolutely perfectly, you know, like never take a long time to talk about something, never repeat myself, never say goofy, dumb things, never accidentally go to the wrong scene or whatever, you know, go to some of these wrong things, right? I could do all of those things absolutely flawlessly. And then guess what, guys? I have 4,000 subs. Oh my God, yay! 4,000 subs. So who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I don't care because I could do everything perfect and I'd have 4,000 subs. Who cares? Who cares? 1,000, 4,000? No, it'd be one thing. It'd be one thing to do everything perfect and I have 200,000 subs. Okay, yeah, then I'll actually try to be this perfect YouTuber. I'll try to be that perfect guy if you can guarantee me 200,000 subs. But the problem is, see, I could freaking bend over backwards. I could start doing backflips. I could open up that door and start doing backflips over here and be like, hello, here we are. The show has just started. I could become freaking professional level juggler and do all kinds of crazy ass shit. I could have freaking missiles flying behind me and special effects. I could take this green screen to a whole new level and I'll have like 4,000 or 5,000 subs. Why would I do that? Why would I break myself to just get a few thousand more subs? It's not worth it. Now, you give me 200,000 more subs, yeah, I'll do that. But I'm not going to do that for a few thousand more subs. It's not going to change the game. So I'm going to be who I am because it's the easiest person to be. It's so easy to just be me. It's harder for me to be some other dude. I'm going to just be me. And if you don't like it, tough titty said the kitty till the milk ran dry. All right, anyway, guys, I'm out of here. That's going to do it for this episode. And I will see everybody tomorrow around 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m., or maybe noon. We'll have to see. But I will be back tomorrow on Thursday. Everybody have a wonderful show. I got to play some Shadow Legend, and I got to play some Audica. All right, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day. Take it easy. Later.